you for being here. Starting big day with Dr. Vivek Bindra. What do I say? Business yoga with so much. I couldn't stop noting down what all wisdom is coming through. And now we are here on day 3, the final day of our INSPIRO festival. Final day of the festival, but beginning of our journey together. Thank you all for being here. Today we are awaiting Sriman Radhesham Das ji for Discover Yourself. So thank you all for being here once again. In the Zoom room here, I would really like to thank, we have specially invited our Gita Ambassador Challenge winners. They are all here with me. There are so many names, and we are going to offer some appreciation to all of you at the end of this event. And we also have the Mantra of Life registrants. Those who registered on day 1 are also here with me in the Zoom room. And of course, all of you who are watching this on YouTube live, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are very honored, very happy to have our 2 eminent personalities here with us. Our keynote speaker, Shriman Radhesham Das ji. I just want to say that personally, I have been so transformed, so touched by this personality. Over the years, I've listened to his classes. I have personally interacted with him. I can owe so much of my personal life to him. And I'm sure so many of you know him quite well, and we are so eager to hear from him. And we also have our guest of honor, Mr. Rahul Karad. Thank you for being with us on this occasion too. Such an amazing institute, right? MIT, we are all so familiar with MIT at Pune and so much all over India. Amazing developments in so many fields they have done. I will tell you what will be the flow of events today. We will start with the introduction. We have a nice introduction of both our speakers. We have then an address by Mr. Rahul Karad. Then we will go into the presentation we've been waiting for with Radhesham Das ji, and there will be question answers. So all of you can ask live questions, be ready with your questions. And after that, we will conclude with some appreciation for our Gita ambassadors, the Mantra of Life video course and some information about it. And that's how we'll conclude today. So without further taking your time, let's get right into it. I will now be sharing a video of the introduction of Shriman Radhesham Das ji.
Introduction of Radhesham Das. Radhesham Das is an IIT Mumbai topper. Is president of ISKCON Pune for last 26 years and leading a community of more than 6,000 members. He is compiler of many youth books like Stress to Smile, 5 volumes of Essence of Bhagavad Gita, etc. Designer of Discover Yourself International Course with 6 sessions for youth and corporates. He is a Global Excellence Award winner for educating youths in Bhagavad Gita. Recipient of Jiva Goswami Award for Innovative Youth Outreach. Global Duty Officer of ISKCON for Youth Outreach visiting Boston and many places in USA. Has been a youth trainer since last 25 years and has been training the youth in IITs, NITs and which is out to Pune, Kolkata, Kanpur, Mumbai, Thane, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Harvard, Belgaum, Mysore and many other places. He has presented seminars at MIT Boston, Stanford University, University of Washington, Cornell University and others. Has been a leading corporate presenter at Amazon, Bank of America, Infosys, Dutch Bank, and Cognizant and Persistent. So we are very happy to have amongst us Radheshyam Das.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Shriman Radheshyam Das ji, for taking your time, being here with us. One thing I know for sure, he puts his heart and soul into every time that he's with us. Every time I've heard him, it has really been such an amazing transformational experience. Can't wait to get into this today with you. And now we have Mr. Rahul Karad. I'll just introduce him also briefly. Mr. Rahul Karad, a young visionary educationist, is the executive president of the MIT World Peace University and the managing trustee and executive president of Mayer's MIT Group of Institutions, which has 4 universities, 72 branches in disciplines ranging from engineering to medicine, with over 65,000 students in the university. Basically, everything from KG to PG. He founded the MIT School of Government in 2005, the first school in India to train youth to make a career in politics and government. Very unique, interesting offering. With the sole objective of channelizing the power of the youth, he extended the mission of MIT School of Government by establishing the largest classroom in India to evolve future political leadership, the Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, Indian Student Parliament, in 2011. He has a strong belief that for a growing society, a strong polity, it is required that the young, the educated, the professional, ethical leaders lead from the front. He went on to found the National Teachers Congress in 2016, a platform for teachers of higher education from across the nation and Indian origins and from abroad to strengthen the education system of our nation and regain its lost glory as the world leader, the Vishwa Guru. Subsequently, he has also founded many other unique pioneering initiatives like the Women's National Parliament aimed at women empowerment, Rashtriya Sarpanch Sansad for inspiring Sarpanches, and strengthening rural India. He has also the National Conference on Media and Journalism aimed at strengthening the 4th pillar of Indian democracy. And recently, in the backdrop of the pandemic, which we all experienced, he was there to discuss and deliberate the challenges ahead with a special focus on the health sector. He founded World Health Parliament. He also started the national level felicitation of successful candidates from the UPSC exam, including the All India first, second, third ranks. And so far, over 1,000 candidates have been felicitated. Mr. Karad is also the founder of the Bharat Asmita National Awards, the Arya Chanakya Rajya Puraskar, and the Rashtra Dharma Puchak, Dadarao Karad Award aimed at recognizing outstanding contributors in the service to the nation from different fields. He is also the chairman of the Committee on Knowledge, Skill and Education of Indian Merchants Chamber, and he's also served as advisor of Selection Committee of the National Youth Award, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Government of India. Thank you so much, Karadji. Thank you so much. You are inspiring all of us with your youthful leadership, setting a nice example for all of us. Thank you so much. I will now present a brief video about Mr. Karad's very unique offering called the World Peace Dome.
I must say that in the entire history after the independence since 1947, this is one of the unique steps towards the contribution of universal humanity. and my government of India. I appeal to the Vice President and Honorable Chief Minister to recognize this World Peace Dome as a structure of national and global importance and support to promote it in such a way that it evolves as one of the prominent tourism destinations of the world.
इक्कीसवीं शताब्दी में मेरी भारत माता विश्व गुरु बनने की काबिलियत रखता है. इट विल बिकम अ विश्व गुरु इन द 21st सेंचुरी. उसका छोटा सा उदाहरण, छोटा सा सिंबल यहाँ बन गया है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है.
We have only two options. Either we live together or we perish together. It is in this context, this monument will stand.
We look at this magnificent dome. To me, this is not just the biggest dome in the world. To me, this is the biggest idea, the biggest message to the world.
See, and I'm sure we are all going to visit it someday. Thank you so much. And now we have a brief address by Mr. Karad, which we will be playing now. He isn't here with us. He had some overlapping appointments, but he has so kindly recorded a message for all of us. And also welcome. There are many more participants joining us here. Shivalika, Dhruvin, Pranita, Shreya, nice to see all of you. Welcome. And we will now be playing the video of Mr. Karad.
Namaskar, Janani Janmabhumisha Swargadapi Gariyasi. On behalf of the bodies of trustees of my university, MIT World Peace University, our beloved founder, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, and all the trustees, staff and students of this very organization, let me first of all pay my respects to the most revered A.C. Bhaktivedanta Ji, the late Swami Prabhupada Ji. I bow down and I say pranams to his memory and the work what he has spreaded across the world with his blessings, with his guidance, with his vision. Today on this very occasion of INSPIRO 2021, I remember him. I also would like to say thank you so much for inviting me, H.G. Radhesham Das, the temple president for ISKCON Pune, who himself he is a visionary and a great scholar, thinker of Vedas and this Krishna conscious movement he is spreading all over the world. So I am very, very glad that he thought of me today. I am very thankful. Also the other members of this Antardvipa Das Ji, who is the chairman of Givers Club, P. Hari Krishnan, who is a co-chairman, the core committee members and various other members. Let me say thank you so much for inviting me, first of all. This is a pre-recorded message, my dear friends. I'm sharing with you for this conference because of some overlap of my schedule. But I'm really rather tempted and excited to speak in front of all the youth members, about this very idea of INSPIRO 2021. Givers Club, no words. I have seen little background and the kind of topics you people have chosen for 3 long days and the kind of speakers all over the world and very respected members are going to speak and guide various youth and the student community of state of Maharashtra and I'm sure through this online medium, worldwide students also can take the benefit of this very INSPIRO 2021. I must tell you, my dear friends, that MIT World Peace University is the only university which I head in city of Pune, which is a 4-decade-old institution, I must tell you, and which all the time talks about unification of science and spirituality. What Vivekananda said long back, that unification of science and spirituality alone can bring peace to the mankind. And with that mission, this MIT World Peace University is working. Our beloved founder, Dr. Karad, he gave this vision, follower of Swami Vivekananda, and he basically thought of this idea of MIT World Peace University. And there are now, over 100,000 students have passed out from this university last 4 decades, and they are working all over the world. So this is just little background of my institution, my dear friends. There are schools, there are hospitals, there are various other charitable work my organization do. But today I see so much of similarity, so much of commonness, because the very conference today, it is so dear to my heart, this very subject, that how do we imbibe the spirituality in higher education? How do we really imbibe the spirituality in school education? And when we do that, the school education and higher education, naturally our society tomorrow, these very graduates, when they will pass out and they will work with the various corporates all over the world, they will be the unique decision makers, and they can contribute very uniquely. That is my firm belief, and that is a belief of my institution. I am very well convinced, my dear friends, that this very thought of blending the spirituality in the professional education at my university, my center, we are partly successful. Last so many years, we have developed some syllabus which we have integrated with our regular core degree programs. At ISKCON, I must say that this very body, why I made a mention about Swami Prabhupada ji, the most revered and respected, the great guru who gave this vision for the world. One such idea of ISKCON, which is needed so much for the humanity, I must tell you, my dear friends, which this body is promoting. All the CEOs, all the members, so many people are working all over the world. And today, with this background, in this COVID situation, it was so necessary that some such convention you people thought of organizing. I'm really compliment you, congratulate you for this initiative, and really wanted to be a part of all the sessions. Those sessions are so important, very thoughtfully carved, I must say. I also would like to mention, I'm rather taking this opportunity because this is such an important platform of ISKCON, and through this idea of INSPIRO, I just want to spread little message what my institution is doing here, my friends. There is a biggest dome in the world which is constructed by our founder, revered Dr. Vishwanath Karadji. Last 15 years the work was going on, and this dome was just recently inaugurated just before the COVID, I mean to say, by the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji. The very theme is so close. Why I am tempted to speak on this very subject, because the conference theme is very much relevant for the work what we at my center, my team, we all are working, so with that, I feel this is a laboratory of the world peace, the biggest dome, the world peace dome. There are 54 statues of scientists, philosophers, saints and founders of all the religions. Plato, Kant, Hegel, Spinoza, Newton, Faraday, Einstein, Buddha, Gandhi, Baba Bulle Shah. So all the religious scriptures are life-guiding scriptures. And there was a science in our religion, but we adulterated, my dear friends, with this, in the whole process, with little selfish motives in between. People adulterated this. And there is a very deep science in our religion, or rather all the religious scriptures. That is the message of this institution, my dear friends. The World Peace Dome is one such laboratory which is in city of Pune on Sholapur Highway. The Rajbagh is a great, the legendary late Raj Kapoor Sahab, his family donated this land to this organization. And this particular World Peace Laboratory, which is a laboratory which we have developed under the guidance and leadership and with the great efforts of our beloved founder, just to integrate this spiritual component. And the quest is, how do we integrate the spiritual component in higher education and the student community, all the youngsters of our society, or the world society rather, so it is called as World Peace Dome. And that's how this conference today, the INSPIRO 2021, is very, very important for me, my dear friends. And sometime at a young age, we all feel the Bhagavad Gita, or for that matter any other religious scripture, we feel this is maybe after 50 or little at the elder age we have to learn about yoga or some such religious scriptures. But that is not true, my dear friends. My firm belief is that if we think at young age, and rather we should think at the young age on these very issues, and this is a duty of all the education centers, all the universities of the world, all the schools of the world, to integrate this very component of spirituality in education system. That is my firm belief. And if we do that, the day when we will achieve that goal, I can tell you, the United Nations or various international bodies, the various such world problems we will be able to minimize, my dear friends, through this exercise of the adding this component of spirituality. I want to say that Radhesham Das ji, Dr. Hari Krishna ji, all of you, I think, are working very hard on this very idea of INSPIRO. I'm sure that already the conference last 2 days, I was told that there are many students all over the world, all over the Maharashtra, they are participating in this movement. I want to share here that this institution, the MIT World Peace University, which I am heading at present, we established one school of government, India's first school to develop the future politicians. We want educated youth to come in public life. We want educated, such qualified members to decorate our parliaments, our Vidhan Sabhas, to achieve the good governance. So that leadership, how we can develop for the country, for the world. So that is also the quest of MIT World Peace University and MIT School of Government. And through this very exercise, we have established, my dear friends, another important platform called Indian Students Parliament, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Today, I wish that this platform, last year we conducted the 10th edition in New Delhi, and this edition, of course, we are going to have some online some engagement, but with the association with ISKCON, the INSPIRO, the Givers Club, maybe in the future we should join the hands. So all the organizers, all the members who have put up their efforts, I want to communicate to all of you that some such like-minded people, already you are so successful all over the world. You have definitely, ISKCON is not new to us and my organization. Many members have, before also they have interacted on my platform, and they have invited our founder also before. But my feeling is we must tie up little stronger. So I shared about Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, I shared about MIT School of Government, the India's first school to develop the future politicians, how to achieve the good governance, and how do we strengthen our democratic fabric of this nation, so that ultimately we achieve that what we really want to achieve, the harmonious society, the peaceful society, my dear friends. And spirituality is again the theme of this conference. On that background, today also I remember the spiritualization of politics, which was first time the great guru of Mahatma Gandhi, Gokhale ji, said about that, and further there were many people spoke about that. But truly, if we really want to achieve and transform our society, my belief is our politicians, our governments, they can really scale up much faster. And how do we influence our politics? How do we influence our the governance? So the spirituality in education, of course, as I said, it can play a very important role. But the budding politicians, the youngsters, tomorrow many of you are going to work in the corporates and various other bodies. But in public life also, I appeal today on this platform that many youth should think, most qualified, competent people. They are from IITs and all the prestigious institutions of the world. They are contributing in this INSPIRO conference. So in a similar way, in our public life also, we want most qualified, competent people to get into it, so that tomorrow we can achieve the great policies, and through those policies we can make a huge impact to transform millions of people in India and all over the world. So that is one hope I express today. I wish that I was told that INSPIRO 2021 is the first edition, and I hope that this very platform will continue forever in the future. And Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, there are various other platforms like National Women's Parliament, National Teachers Congress, Rashtriya Sarpanch Sansad. All these bodies are established by MIT World Peace University. It may sound like I am promoting various my ideas, my dear friends, but just for the information of the various students, many of you may be already aware about this very activity of MIT World Peace University. But I am sharing very candidly and frankly all my feelings today, only so that without collaboration, without joining the hands, we can't transform this society with that speed and pace. So once again, I say good luck to each and every member, all the students, all other members, all the youth who are observing this conference. I think you all must have enjoyed this last 2-3 days, various such conversations. I was told there was a question answers format also. So many queries and many such your that inner feelings. I'm sure you must have received some outlet for your all those thoughts. Last 1 year, 1.5 year, almost 15-16 months, we are passing through this horrifying situation of COVID, and it was much needed. This conference, INSPIRO 2021, it was much needed, and I think you people have taken a great efforts. I compliment each and every member. So we take it ahead. Once again, I say Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and Jai Jagat. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Rahul Karadji, that was so nice hearing from you. Not only are you're creating so many support structures, so many facilities, organizations, so many efforts where all your thoughts, which are so aligned with the message of the Gita, the message of love, the message of peace, the message of achieving our potential, the message of true, deep spiritual discovery. And you're creating so many platforms. Thank you so much. It is an honor to have had you today with us, and thank you so much for your encouragement, your kind words, and being with us here on INSPIRO. Thank you once again. Now, without further delay, my dear friends, we have so many of you have joined again here. Sushant, Ravi, hi, everyone, Shamant, welcome. And we have so many more on YouTube joining, and we are now waiting. We will now begin our session with Sriman Radhesham Das ji. So he will be presenting a PPT. He'll be presenting a beautiful session here, and every 15 or 20 minutes, he's going to take a break so we can all ask questions. So for you in the Zoom room, whatever questions you have, please put it in the chat box. And for all of you watching on YouTube live, you have a link in the description where you can send your queries in, and we will try to answer as many as we can. Sriman Radhesham Das ji will try to answer. Otherwise, we will get back to you over email and answer all your queries. Thank you so much. Without further delay, here on the Zoom room, let's have some claps and icons. You can put up your icons just so we get some... is everybody here? Everybody is ready? All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shaunak. Thank you, Rishikesh. Yes, we can see that. Ravi, thank you. All right. Okay. All right. And now, without further delay, I would kindly invite Sriman Radhesham Das ji.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhuvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I offer my namaskar to my Guru, by whose grace I was offered whatever wisdom I am going to share with all of you this evening. Welcome all of you, and I deeply appreciate your taking out your valuable time and joining this session this evening. Just like sharpening the saw is very essential for having a sharp saw to do the job well. Similarly, taking out time for programs like this is a very great investment in your life, and you will realize it in the long run. Those people who are all the time bookworms, they oftentimes get stressed out because of not taking out time to learn the other aspects of life. So, the topic of discover yourself, I am presenting in 15 minutes in 3 parts. After 15 minutes, I will entertain some questions from all of you. And then again, I'll proceed after 5 minutes of question answers, okay? You can show the cover page. So the topic of discovering our own self is a very important one, especially all the more so in this COVID time, because people are saying suddenly, not only some old person is dying, some youngster is dying, children are dying, and people have a big question mark in their life. What is death and what is life? What is the meaning of life? How long will we live? What is this world all about? So all these questions are arising in the minds of all people, and people are very curious now, especially. So at this hour, it's very important for us to know who is the real self. And by knowing it, you can try to find out how to nourish the self. You have heard about the saying, personality development. So how do you develop your personality? How you nourish the self, we will learn today. So these 3 points I'm going to cover today. Search for happiness in humans versus animals, and identifying our real self and way to everlasting happiness, and mind management, and cultivating positive habits. Let us see. Let's begin with the first one. One thing that everybody is looking for in this world, you all know very well, is happiness. A person marries to become happy. A person goes to college to fetch a degree, to get a job, to get money, to buy happiness. Yeah, everybody. You play in sports to emerge victorious, to become happy, and everybody lifts you above. And the happiness actually is at different levels. If you just put a gulab jamun in the mouth, that is physical, lasts for 2-3 minutes. If you sing a song, it may last for 3 months, 4 months. You get bored with the tune and change over to a new one. And then if you made a very smart intellectual, move in a chess match and you become a champion of India, maybe you'll be happy for a few years until the next champion comes. But the long-lasting or everlasting happiness is spiritual happiness. One thing very important for us to know, the yogis are not people who run away from happiness of the world. Actually, they are also looking for happiness, but everlasting happiness. Ramante yogino anante satyananda jadatmane iti rama pade naso param brahma vidiyate. They actually go for Ramante yoginaha anante, it is said. Anante means unending happiness. And you will see how they achieve it over a period of time, we will see. See, in childhood, we all try these different things. In teenage, we try something else. And then after cute, we try daredevil acts. People try by sports. And people try in very harmful agents also. Somehow they want to squeeze out happiness. Generally, happiness is like this: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Our scriptures say that these 4 activities are the ones by which ultimately one is trying to derive happiness in this world. If you see animals, they also have friends and they also have fun. They have their family. Like I told you, they also eat, they also sleep, they also mate, they defend also. So if you compare humans and animals, they both keep doing the same type of activities. So this raises a question in us. How are we different from the animals? If you see, some people think that animals don't have intelligence as we do have. But actually animals are also very intelligent. You will see here. See, an eagle can have a telescopic eyes to see miles away, which we can't do. Look at the horse, it can run faster, so fast. A dog can sniff and capture a thief. An elephant can eat tons of grass every day. We can
Recording in progress.
And if you see a polar bear, it can sleep 6 months in a year. Yeah. And if you see a cuckoo, it can sing so sweetly. So when human being is looking at all these animals and birds, he thinks, oh, they are much more smarter than me. No human can catch up with the elephants eating, or a polar bear 6 months sleeping. Even though we may want to do eating and sleeping. So they are far superior to us. then in what way are we superior to them? So look at these animals. So they have rational power, intelligence. They are even better, but they are better in what? The same four activities which I told you. But then human beings often think that we are advanced in technology, whereas animals are not. But despite all the technology, you know how much mess is created in the modern times. People are depressed, stressed, and in great anxiety. And the corporate synthetic life has become very, very painful for people. People are running to the hill stations in the weekend to have a change. And everybody knows about it, needless to say about it. So, it's very amazing, no? Animals don't have any riots or suicides or divorces or drug abuse, which human is suffering from. So, in what way are we superior then to animals? You see, we may have star hotels, but what are we doing in 5-star, 7-star hotels? People are doing the same activity of eating. We may have skyscraper buildings. Animals may be mating in the street, but humans may be living in big skyscraper building and doing the same activity. We may have big planes, but we may be using the planes for throwing bombs. Therefore, once Martin Luther King said, guided missiles and misguided men, and economic giants and emotional infants. So in this way, we can see that we are doing the same activity of fighting and defending. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending, same activities. Even if we say that we have the best of communication systems, but what do we do with it? We are ultimately talking about these things only, how to eat better, sleep better, mate better, and defend better. So is a human being simply a deluxe version of animals or a sophisticated version of animals? You can see how humans can even control practically dangerous forest creatures like a lion or a elephant in a circus. A man can even put his head into the lion's mouth, that much they have trained. So it seems that human being has practically conquered all animals. He is the crown amongst all the species of life, as he claims himself to be. But if you see, although he has gained control over all creatures, he has failed to control his own mind and has become a slave of lust, anger, and greed. Like you see the man chained up. So man has become trapped by these three enemies: lust, anger, and greed. Lag. Therefore, man is lagging in life, not leading. Therefore, when boys and girls graduate from the college, when they go for the interviews, many company people are thinking, so how can I recruit this fellow? They see them during the graduate engineering training period. They find that somebody has a habit of overeating and getting obesity. Somebody is never fresh, is always drinking. Somebody has to take a smoke break. Somebody is always on medicine, sickly. Somebody gets into affairs with women in the office. And somebody has bad habits like drinking. Somebody quarrels with everybody. So similarly, somebody is depressed, is never confident. You see, so when the employers see students like this, they are very shocked. What to do with these guys? Should I employ him or can I get someone else? So not only they want us to have a distinction or a big degree, but they are also worried about how will this fellow function. So where are all these bad habits coming from? You will see that as we proceed today, because of imbalance in life, because of lack of learning in life, the things which we are supposed to learn. You see the result of uncontrolled mind, lack of confidence, depression, loss of trust. All these things can be seen in the society today because of ultimately uncontrolled mind. And the result is, you see, all these things are happening in society. Even some boys recently one of the IITs in 2019, 3 boys committed suicide. Or shooting, murder, breaking TV when India lost the match. So in this way, these things are becoming more common nowadays. You see, the mind is compared in our scriptures to an elephant. Sometimes you must have seen, the elephant carries 5-6 people on the back and very comfortably takes them for a joyride. You have seen that? In our Mayapur, which is our headquarters of ISKCON and society, we have an elephant procession every Saturday, where the elephant takes Radha Madhava lordships on their back and they go on a procession and 1,000 people follow the elephant. So elephants are good in nature generally. You know, the elephant can give Ashirvad to you by accepting a coin from you. The elephant can lift logs of wood for the man. It's a very cooperative animal with human beings. It can do many things like that. I saw in one of the videos, elephants can even paint a picture of an elephant very precisely with utmost concentration. But the same elephant, when it becomes mad, my lord, it can lift a scooter and throw. It can take even a whole auto and throw it. And it can destroy many people around, trample upon people. It's a very dangerous creature. Our mind is also like that. When our mind is uncontrolled, it goes berserk. When the mind is managed, therefore mind should be your servant. You should not be mind's servant. If you are going to run from pillar to post dictated by your mind, then our life is going to be miserable. But if mind is subordinate to you and will fulfill your order, do this, yes, take me to the temple, you are saying. And imagine the mind is taking us to a liquor shop. That means mind is not in our control. So therefore, we need a controlled mind for a happy life, first of all. You can see here, animals can only inquire about eating, sleeping, mating, depending which we told you. But human beings can inquire about these things. They can inquire about purpose of life, what is death, and what is beyond. They can also discriminate clearly what is good, what is bad. One boy asked a question to Srila Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON society. Swamiji, God has created tobacco. That means He wants us to smoke a cigarette. Otherwise, why did He create a tobacco? So Prabhupada said, Krishna, God also has created poison, datura poison in a plant. Do you eat those poisonous plants? He said, oh, if I eat them, I will die. He said, yes, that means you are able to discriminate what should be eaten and what should not be eaten. What is good, what is bad, what is beneficial, what is harmful. And that Viveka Buddhi is there with humans. So therefore, one should discriminate between what is good, what is bad, and what is divine, as you see here in slide. And also we can give up the old bad habits and can adopt new habits. And we can have a change of heart. From selfishness, we can become selfless. From cruelty, we can become compassionate. From being arrogant, we can be humble. Such a kind of heart transformation can take place in humans. It's quite possible. And these kind of things humans can do. Therefore, now I have listed very clearly for you. How are we different from the animals? Like you follow the traffic rule, keeping your car on the left side. But animals may be in the middle of the road and they will not be punished also. Because the animals are not expected to follow the norm. They have very dull intelligence in that sense. So, but the human beings can inquire about the most important thing. Right now, today I am speaking the wisdom of the Gita, and you all are able to understand because you are in a human body now. So, till now, whatever I have spoken to, you have any questions to ask or share? Yeah. Karuna Garang Prabhu? Hey, who will ask the questions? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I am a student. But I have heard that it is said many times that be happy on what you have. Don't expect for more because God has given us many more things what others lack.
Okay.
So I want to ask, sir, that does spirituality teaches us to live a dry life?
Okay. Actually, spirituality teaches you to have ambition, but not over ambition. When you go from need to greed, you have to bleed. You understand the point? One example I'll tell you is God has given so much eatables for the fish inside the ocean. But sometimes the fish sees that a fisherman is putting a meat piece with a hook. So he immediately goes up to eat that meat piece, and he is caught in the hook and he loses his life because the fish became greedy. He was not happy with the God-given food in the ocean. Similarly, in our lives also you will see, without smoking a cigarette, nobody will die. Without eating rice or wheat, we will die. But man is not happy with wheat and rice. He wants to drink, he wants to smoke. Then he becomes greedy for things which he should not be greedy for. In the same manner, we can be ambitious to complete an education and get a job and settle in everything. But people always see others and have unhealthy comparison with others. And that unhealthy comparison creates disease in their hearts. And because of that, they also badmouth about others. And a lot of bad things happen in their lives. So Shastras say that don't be greedy in an unhealthy way. You can be inspired by somebody who is doing, and you can also work hard. And also all of us have bodies which are like a certain model car, like a Maruti car or a Santro car or a Mercedes-Benz car. And we all know very well there are people more intelligent than us, there are people less intelligent than us, there are people more handsome than us, there are people less handsome than us, there are people more richer than us, there are people less richer than us. So we are all put strictly according to stringent law of karma. So we can make an effort and we can pray to God. Our effort and God's grace will bring about a progress. Like I sow the seed and God gives the rains. So a combination will make something happen. But we should not be too greedy. If a Maruti tries to compare with the Benz and you drive the Maruti at 150 km per hour, like that, or the Luna, somebody drives at 200 km per hour, what will happen to Luna? And therefore boys and girls commit suicide nowadays. Because they try, they can't, they compare with somebody whom they can't catch up with, and they commit suicide, which we don't want to happen. Am I making it clear? Is this clear, this point? Yeah? Yeah. So ambition is perfect, but over ambition is not good. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you. We can take one more question. There are 3-4 hands up, you saw? Yeah? Your
Babu
turn.
Singh, you can ask.
Yeah?
Manshika, you can ask.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, yeah?
Sir,
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, please. Go ahead. You have to unmute.
now you can hear me?
Now I can hear, yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, it is always said that what we desire is actually we get it. But is it true? I don't know whether it is right or not.
Oh, there are two things.
Is it?
What you desire and what you deserve. They are both.
Okay.
And desiring alone is not enough. We have to deserve also. For example, if somebody desires, I want a job which will pay me 10 lakh per annum. The desire may be wonderful. But then they have to sit in the interview. They should be able to, offer such kind of work contribution in the company. Based on that, the company will decide how much salary we can give them. Correct, no? So we have to desire, we may desire, but we have to deserve. Same with karma also. If I have punya, next life I have a handsome body, I have good education, I'm born in a good family, I eat good food, I have a healthy body, everything goes wonderful. If I have done sinful activities, sin means disobedience to God. If I have disobeyed God's laws, then next life I get ugly body, I have no education at all, I'm born in a slum, and I have diseases in the body, I don't get food every day. So in this way, based on what we deserve, we are awarded the next body. So therefore, we all have to be very careful about how we think, speak and act in our lives. We have to act very virtuously in line with God's wish. Then our life will be perfect. All right?
Okay. And also it is said that if God wishes that you will have it, then only you will have it.
Yeah, why is that said? Why is it said like that? Because we sow the seed, and who gives the rains?
God only.
God gives the rains. So therefore our endeavor and His grace. Similarly, you write a test, but who gives the marks? The teacher gives the marks. You appear in an interview, the panel has to choose you for the job. Isn't it? In this way, in this world, everything is two-way, not one way. Our effort and God's grace. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Now,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now we proceed with the further section. So in the first section, we learned about how we are all looking for happiness. and eating, sleeping, waiting, repenting. We saw about that. Animals and humans are similar, we said. But then human beings are superior. In what way, I told you. Now let's proceed to the second part. Identifying our real self and the path of everlasting happiness is a very important part. So this is the second one now. Yeah. So if someone asks you who are you, you'll naturally tell your name, isn't it? See, one Dr. Harry Monson, he's from Illinois College of Medicine, professor in America. So he said these are the things contained in our body, the calcium, phosphate, potassium, sulfur, and all these things. And try to think about it. And he said the cost of our human body is only rupees 110. Ask yourself, are you a lump of all these chemicals? And are you worth only rupees 110? Ask yourself. Just a side example. Say one of your friends going in a Mercedes-Benz car faces an accident, terrible accident. Will you rush him to the hospital or will you take the car to the garage? When I asked this question, everybody said we will take our friend to the hospital. If your friend's body is only rupees 110, why would you leave a car which is 30-40 lakhs worth on the road and take your friend to the hospital? There is something in our body which makes our body so valuable that it's much more worthier than 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. So, and also the combination of these chemicals, does it sound to be your identity? Are you potassium, calcium, phosphate, and all these things? So, then what is our real identity? What is the real self? Is this body that is made up of flesh and bones our real self? Or there is something else? So in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a Panchakosh explanation very beautifully given. As you see here, it says that there are 5 selves. So the topic today is discover yourself. The word Atma also has 5 meanings. Atma means our body. Atma means the mind. Atma means intelligence. Atma means soul. Atma means Paramatma also, super soul. Same way the word Brahma also. In the same manner, here you find, first all of us think that I am this body. As soon as we are born, you can see a child is always thinking about eating. Anything you give a child, it will pick it up and put it in the mouth immediately, isn't it? Because all he thinks about is about eating. And that is like 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. After the 6, you will find the child becomes very active. He gets up and starts running, playing, doing sports, trekking, and wanting to be very active and dynamic. It's a growing stage in the pranamaya course stage, second stage. And when he goes to teenage, 13 to 19, he lives in a dream world. He has many aspirations and ambitions in life. He wants to do this. He wants adventure. He wants something creative, something innovative. So, and that is why they live in a dream world, romance and all those things in the age of teenage, manomaya. And then afterwards, when one goes to 2025, 2020 to 23, then one starts using intelligence and starts thinking, asking questions about life. One can ask questions about what is this world? Why is it created? Why am I here? Why am I suffering? Why can't I stop my suffering? Why can't I be happy forever? And things like that. And then one arrives at the knowledge of the soul, that the Atma is imperishable. Then you come to the Anandamaya stage where one understands that I am Atma and there is a Paramatma. I am Brahman, there is a Parabrahman. And one understands the difference. I am actually servant of God. And then therefore you will find people as they mature in spiritual life, they come to a point where they are completely satisfied. They are completely happy, completely blissful. They become spreaders of happiness in this world. So if you see this, it is mentioned that in Taittiriya Upanishad it is said that Bhrigu asks his father about what is the meaning of the word Brahman. So the father says that from which everything is born, by which we live, and that which into which we die, at this person is Brahman. So you go and find out, my son, he said. So the Bhrigu went. First he came and asked the father, is it the body, the physical body? Father said, no, research more. Then he said, is it the... so he went one layer, like you see here. In this, there is a Annamaya Kosha is physical body, then Pranamaya is subtle body, Actually, pranamaya is exactly not the subtle body. It is actually the 10 type of airs in the body. 5 are prominent: prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. And the Annamaya Kosh is formed with 7 dhatus. In Ayurveda, you will see that. Rasa, Rakta, Medha, Majja, Asti, Shukra, like that, 7 dhatus. And then Manomaya Kosh, if you go, mind is the leader of the subtle body in the sense that it's the leader of the senses. All the senses that we use, mind is a prominent one. Therefore, the Manomaya is kept because mind is the reservoir or repository of all the experiences, thoughts, plans, and desires, and all that. The Manomaya. And in Vijnanamaya is a stage when our intelligence becomes very active. And in the Vijnanamaya stage, if you really deeply study scriptures and also practice meditation, everything, one can come to the understanding of I am not this body. I am Atma. I am spirit soul. And in the Anandamaya stage is a perfectional stage, the life's goal of having obtained the supreme Purushottama Lord, in whose association company we feel unlimited bliss. So from this you can understand there are many selves. When we say discover yourself, first we discover only the body which we see in the mirror. Therefore, if you see here, somebody may, who is this actress, very famous actress. Many people were mad after this actress. She was a Bollywood actress. But when she died, you can see after the death, the same chemicals are there, but no feelings, no thinking, no desires, no movement, no consciousness. Why? What is missing in this body? And what made the body so attractive before? And what made the body so abominable now? Why? Same body, but the soul is gone. All of you think for a moment. If a hair on the head, you have a long silky hair. You may be putting shampoo, and you may be combing it, oil, scented oil and everything, and combing it very well. But if one hair comes in your food, you will not like it. You'll throw away the whole food. Same with your nails. People polish their nail with nail polish and everything. But then if the nail is cut from the finger, it goes straight into dustbin. As soon as the hair or the nail comes out of the body, it is no more attractive. But in the body, it's attractive. Why? Because there is life in the body, and the life is coming from the Atma. When the Atma leaves the body, Atma is the driver of this body. So we are not this body, we are driver of this body. Just like in a car, you are not the car. I am not the Mercedes-Benz. I am driver of the Mercedes-Benz car. That is the point that is start. Like material viewpoint, people think like this. We are simply body made up of matter, and we are no more than a chemical bundle. Everything is finished at death. People think like that. But actually, if you see, the spiritual truths are explained in the scriptures. Actually, there is a soul which is powering this body. Like you see, as soon as a pilot walks towards the plane and climbs up, immediately the plane takes off because the pilot is powering the plane, taking it up in the sky. So the spirit soul, as soon as it touches matter, the matter can be activated. Otherwise, matter is dead in the same place for a million years. It will not budge an inch. So you will see when there is life in anybody, even in a bus or a train, sometime by mistake you go and hit a person, you say, hey, even slightly you hit a person, he looks at you and stares at you angrily. But the same person, if he has died, the body may be thrown in the street, but there will be no emotion. Even if somebody kicks on the face, he will not respond. The body may be burnt in fire. It doesn't respond because the soul is gone. Yeah. So therefore, here is another very important Kathopanishad story that I am going to share with all of you now. Very interesting and very important story that teaches this lesson for inquisitive people. If you all are inquisitive about the Atman and you want to know how it powers the body and how it does wonders, here is a story, the Kathopanishad. So there was a great sage, Vajasravasa, along with other saintly people. He is doing the yajna, and a small boy, Nachiketas, was watching his father doing, and the father was also giving charity of cows, as you see, to many other people. So the boy saw that the cows that he was giving in charity were actually very thin. They were not giving milk. They were bony cows. He asked the father, my dear father, how can you give such things in charity? Then you will incur sin. And then later on one has to go to the abode of Yamaraj. And one will have to suffer for such sinful reaction because of cheating the other people. He said. The father said, no, don't disturb me. Don't talk in between. He was telling. And the boy was asking, you are giving away so many things. Will you also give me away to somebody? He asked. And then father said, see, if you too much harass me like this, I will hand you over to Yamaraj. Like that he said. So after that, the boy said, "Oh, father, you are a Brahmana. You should never go back in your words. You should keep the truth. Since you have given the word that I am supposed to go to Yama, now I will be proceeding to Yamaloka," he said. And the father said, "No, my son, I just spoke something, slipped out of my tongue. Please don't take it seriously." He said, "No, we can't go back in our words. In fact, it has come from your mouth, so I have to follow your order. I should do it. Otherwise, if I don't follow the truthful words spoken from your mouth, then you will have to suffer for that." So then the father lamented, and then the son proceeded ahead. So Nachiketas went to Yamaloka, as you see here. At the time, Yama was out of station. Only his wife was there. She welcomed the boy and told the boy, "You will have to wait for a while until he comes back." You heard the picture is not coming? So said, yeah. And then, so Nachiketas waited there for 3 days, and then Yama returned back and said, "Oh boy, I didn't give you water or food to eat 3 days. I am sorry. I am late. Since you waited patiently for me, I will give you 3 boons for you. Ask whichever one you want to ask." And then now he is going to ask for the boons now. You see here. The first boon he asked was, "My father is in great anxiety. Please send me back to my father and let him be peaceful and happy." And Yamaraj agreed, surely. He said, "Sure, I'll do that." And the second boon he asked was, "Please teach me the sacrifice, yajna, by which I can go to heaven," he said. And then Yamaraj said, "Oh, very easily he granted these boons." But then he asked one very important third question he asked. "Can you please teach me Atma Vidya?" he asked, which, if known, can help a person know the mystery of death. Because you are the Lord of death, I want to know from you what happens to people when they go beyond heaven and hell, beyond this Brahmanda, beyond this universe. When people go, I have heard that great Mahatma devotees, they go beyond this world. I am very eager to know about that. When Yamaraj heard it, he was surprised. Such a small, actually this boy was 16-year-old boy. He was a teenager just like many of you. So he was wondering, he's a young boy. Young boys are generally interested in enjoying life, running here and running there. How is he interested in Atma Tattva? He wants to know, where does Atma go beyond this universe? Where does it go? What is its destination? So he was surprised. He wanted to test whether the boy is really serious. So he told him, see what Yama is telling. Even the gods, demigods, they had this doubt in the times of the old. For mysteries is a law of life and death. Ask me, Nachiketas, for any other boon and release me from this third boon which he asked, he said. Nachiketas said, "No greater teacher can explain the answer to this question, sir. And therefore, there cannot be a better boon than this," he said. And then Yama wanted to distract him by offering him various gifts in this world. He said, "Take horses and gold and cattle and elephants. Choose sons and grandsons that shall live for 100 years. Have vast expanses of land, Nachiketas. Live as many years as you desire. Or choose another gift that you think is equivalent to all this, and you can enjoy it with wealth and long life and be a king. And you can rule this vast earth. I will grant you all these years, no matter how difficult it is to obtain in this world of mortals." And he said, "I'll give you fair maidens, golden chariots, and musical instruments and everything. But ask me not about the secret of death." You see, he is actually offering so many gifts. All of you think for a moment, will you not accept all these things? So many nice things he is offering. What Nachiketa said, just see. Here comes the most important answer. He said, he thought for a moment and said, "Sir, all these pleasures pass away. They also weaken the power of our life and senses. Indeed, our life is also very short in this world. Keep your horses and chariots and maiden with you. No man can be satisfied with all this wealth. And that too," he said, "shall we enjoy with you in sight? People are waiting. Anytime death may come and strike us down. I can only ask for the boon that I asked you. Grant me gifts that will unveil the mystery that I asked you for. So I want to go to that supreme abode which is beyond this heaven and hell within this universe." So he was such an intelligent boy, Nachiketas. So then Yamaraj now told him the truth. He said, ignorant people are like blind people leading the blind. Imagine, try to picture a man who is a blind man. He is running towards the ocean, and behind him there are dozens of blind people catching his shirt and running behind him. He said most of the people in this world, they stagger and run round and round in the cycle of birth and death. Again and again, the Atma goes from one body to another. Just like, a small child may be driving a tricycle. When he becomes a schoolboy, then bicycle, then bike and car. Just like we change the vehicles, Atma also changes the body. Sometimes human body, sometimes animal body, priest body. That's what he said. And childish are those who are deluded by the charms and temptations of the world. Consequently, they fail to comprehend the higher truth. To them, this world is the only reality, he said. So they are all convinced of this, and they are caught up in this trap of birth and death again and again, he said. On the contrary, he said, the self-shining divine being, which means the supreme God, he is hard to see. He's called as Adi Purusha, or the Purushottama, the Supreme Lord. Through spiritual means, one can attain him. He said, if someone listens, comprehends, practices accordingly, and as a result, he'll gain the experience of the subtlest truth, which is an Anandamaya stage. One attains that. So, this is a summary of what he spoke. First of all, he spoke about the soul, as I told you. Then he told that even by any amount of reading books, you will not attain the knowledge of the soul unless one actually practices that knowledge. And also, he gave a chariot of the body example, which is very, very important for students, which is coming up in the next slide. I'll show you. And then he said, the individual soul is great, but ultimate person, God, is like the father of all the souls. So he's talking about him, Purushottama also. So one amazing thing in this world you will see, he's talking about Purushottama. I would suggest you all, when you get time, in Bhagavad Gita you can read the 15th chapter called as Purushottama Yoga. Purushottam Yoga. That chapter is about Lord Purushottama. Actually, he is the most selfless. The God is the most selfless. Like you see in the picture here, the rivers carry so much water, but they don't drink the water themselves. They give it all for human beings. Similarly, you see the trees, they are giving mangoes to others. They don't eat the mangoes themselves. Clouds are showering forth rain on the ground, and the ground leads to the growth of rice and wheat and all. But the clouds don't claim that. Similarly, the saintly people actually, they following in the footsteps of God, they also have a habit of giving. Therefore, our club is called Givers Club. Givers Club means give selflessly. We say God gives and forgives. We get and forget. And that is the situation of the God's children in this world. So the point is, we should not forget what we are receiving. Like you see here, in the Gita he says, I am the light of the sun, I am the heat of the sun. I am the light of the moon, and I supply 6 types of juices in all the vegetables and fruits. He says that in Bhagavad Gita. And these are things which we are eating. No scientist can produce these things. We can see that what God is giving us through the nature, these are things which nourish our body, like you see here. Similarly, the heat, sunlight, moonlight, all rainfall, wind. Similarly, the metals like iron, sulfur, manganese, and gold, silver, diamond, all these things we are receiving from God. So we have to be grateful to him, Purushottama. So that was one thing he told Nachiketas. And then this is the example he gave, chariot of the body example. This is a shloka. I will show you the pictorial representation of this verse. You see here, this is the example, analogy that Yamaraj gave to Nachiketas. He told, your 5 senses are like 5 horses. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. Shabda, sparsha, rasa, rupa, gandha. And the mind is like the ropes of the horses. And intelligence is like the driver. And the soul is the passenger. And the chariot is the body. Now, if the 5 horses are running hither and thither, they will create a great havoc. Therefore, the intelligence should be very strong. The driver should be strong. He can pull the reins, ropes of the horses, and the horses can be kept under control. So, the intelligence is the leader, actually, like a CPU in a computer. And the mind is like a hard disk with all softwares. And the horses are like servo motors. So the servo motors are actually running linear or rotary based on the programming done in the microprocessor, isn't it? And the CPU is the decision maker in a computer. Of course, in a computer, all these things may be there. It won't function on its own unless you sit and you are the soul. A computer requires a soul to operate also. Similarly, the soul, in this way, the soul is seated in the chariot, and intelligence, mind, and senses are acting. By knowing this mechanism, you can actually save yourself from so many problems in this world. Mhm. Okay, now till now, you have any questions? Then I will proceed to the subsequent one where you will learn the solution. You will learn. Yeah.
Radhesham Das ji, thank you so much so far. It has been so insightful. I will ask questions on behalf of the students so that we can just go quick. First question from Shamant, who's asking how to remain humble and stable when we are under difficult situations.
Oh, in difficult situation, naturally you become humble. Actually, when in case somebody, a proud person is confronting you and you are very unhappy, you feel like retaliating back. At that time, you may have a question, how to be humble. And how to be humble, we should always think about the consequences. Consequences of not being humble. Like for example, if you also fight back, when two hands make a sound like this, so then you fight, he fights, then it becomes ego tussle, becomes a big scene. So therefore, we may be humble after considering the consequences, or we may not immediately act at that moment. We will go away. Then later on, we will, when both of us are cool-headed, we can sit and discuss why he was so upset with me or whatever. Next one.
Next question is anonymous. I am sensitive and emotional person, and I am blamed for no reason, some miscommunication, misunderstanding with family, friends, and I feel very sad when this happens. So I feel very hated about my life. How to overcome this?
Number one, you should make friendship with people who are very cheerful, and you should keep away from those who are envious or those who are creating negativity in you. Keep away from them. Be friendly with the cheerful. And also, you should take out time to learn how to communicate with other people. You have to learn communication. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained, those who are greater than you, be jolly to receive them and don't be envious of them. Those who are equal to you, don't brag about yourself, but share with them and hear from them. Those who are inferior to you, be compassionate to them. Don't ridicule them. So you can follow some of these principles and also learn how to communicate with others. Yeah. Thank you. One last question in this section we can take.
Yes. Pranjal is asking, how do we stop distraction?
This is the age of distraction. So we have to find out what are our distractions. For different people, there are different distractions. One of the topmost distraction is the smartphone with all the, WhatsApp messages and Twitter and Instagram and everything people have. And we go on increasing the contacts day after day, month after month, year after year, although we have only 24 hours a day. And the number of hours available is less, and we want to, spend it all for increasing number of this thing. So I think one of the ways we can avoid distraction is to first write down a diary. What are the things distracting me in my studies? See, we all have a goal in life. We have our material goal, we have spiritual goal. Let's be very clear about what we want to do. And then what are the distractions that come in achieving that goal? We have to make a list, and we have to ration them. We have to restrict them if they can't be totally eliminated. Yeah. Okay, let me proceed. This is the third section, mind management and cultivating positive habits. Yeah. So these are the three topics. We talked about search for happiness and human life, animal life we compared. And then now we identified the real self. Atma is the real self, and the Atma is covered by two coverings. One is subtle body, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego. Man, buddhi, ahankar. That is subtle body, we call it. And outside there is gross body, Panchamahabhut. Like Panchamahabhut, we see it in the mirror. We all can see. That's the outer covering. Just like a boy may wear a shirt and a banyan. So the gross body is like the shirt, and the banyan is like the subtle body, and then inside the soul is present. So now we have understood the real self. And also the path of everlasting happiness, Yamaraj told him, my dear boy, there are two roads in this world. One road is crowded. The whole world is running after it, which is sense gratification, he said. People are chasing after the sense objects for their senses in this world, and they are born again and again repeatedly and dying and taking birth again. But the other path is actually the royal road leading back to the kingdom of God. And those who lead the life in alignment with God go there. And therefore he taught him this example of chariot of the body. He said, restrain the horses, strengthen your spiritual intelligence, lead the right path, and you will attain all perfection. So that we learned now, till now. So now in this third section, we are going to learn about mind management and cultivating positive habits. Okay? Yeah. You see, this is gross body, I told you. And this is subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and this is soul inside. Now you all are clear about it. So the mind, I told you, is like a hard disk, storehouse of softwares, means like desires, previous experiences, likes, dislikes, all that. And intelligence is like the CPU, I told you, decision maker. And false ego is the one which shunts the soul to the body. That's called false ego, we call it. Identity. Like we think, I am this gross body, we think, which is wrong actually. And now, this I already told you just now. You see, the five senses give inputs to the mind, as you see here. And that's how the mind becomes a storehouse of thoughts. And that's called sanskar, we call it. Like I see something on some poster, and then it goes into the mind. And that is called one impression. Then multiple impressions are created. They collectively form something called as vasana. And then the vasana eventually leads to vrittis. Vritti is like a big wave which comes in the mind. So sanskar, vasana, vrittis. Vritti is a very strong one. So in this way, that's how good impressions, bad impressions are created in the mind as we take in through the senses. And because the mind is like subordinate to the intelligence, and the intelligence, if you strengthen it spiritually, intelligence can tell the mind, don't walk the wrong path. Like you see, animals act by instinct, whereas human being can think before he acts. He can look before he leaps. That's the speciality of human body. Like you see, therefore I told you, you should actually control the mind. If you keep the mind under your control, it will be your best friend. Otherwise, it can be a greatest enemy. Actually, mind should follow our good instructions that intelligence gives. Like here you see, one example I am giving you. A boy is smoking here. What is he thinking? I am an engineer, I should know at least how to hold a cigarette, is thinking. And he is thinking, smoking makes me cool. I saw an advertisement where there was a waterfalls, and a boy and girl were standing stylishly with a cigarette, saying that, oh, it makes us feel cool. Is it really true? You are putting fire inside your mouth and you claim to be, it is making you cool. You are simply a fool. You see here, the intelligent person says, no, oh, that's not a good habit. It's not good for you. Also, your parents won't like to see you doing this. It will be very harmful. Don't get into the wrong track. So because he is following the intelligence, don't follow the mind, follow the intelligence. Indriyasyendrayasyarte ragadvesha vyavastitau tayornavashamagachet tau hyasya paripantinau. Krishna is telling, mind always goes by likes and dislikes. Good things, the mind says, I don't like, I dislike. Bad things, mind says, I like. Like cocoa chocolate, all children want to eat. But it is very harmful for their teeth. Yeah. Similarly, you find boys actually want to sleep very late at night and get up very late in the morning, which is not a good habit. But that's how our mind is programmed over time. So therefore, we should go beyond the likes and dislikes of the mind and hear the good intelligence. Yeah. So that's the meaning of habit. Habit actually means a settled tendency, but it can be changed by practice. Yeah, see, the mind is filled with so many scripts, bad and good scripts. So we have to remove the bad scripts. So the habits, you see, even though you remove a habit, even if you remove hatch, a bit remains, it remains. Always, it doesn't go away very easily. The habits are very addictive. Therefore, you have to be careful not to get into bad habits. So how do we say no to bad habits? You see, here is where the secret lies. The type of books that you read, if you read Bhagavad Gita, your mind will become sanctified. But if you read other dirty books, then mind gets putrefied instead of becoming purified. The movies that we watch, the music that we hear, if you hear rock music, the whole body is toppled and the whole biological rhythm is disturbed. And the type of friendships that we keep, these are the things that influence our mind. So, therefore we have shown you the GIGO principle. You see, good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. So you have the choice whether what you want to feed your mind through the five senses. The 5 horses, you have to put a blinder for them. You know blinder for the horses? They put so that it will not go in the side, it will go straight. You will reach the goal. Similarly, for our five senses, we have to put blinders, not allow them to do wrong things. Therefore, Lord Krishna says, Tasmat tvam yendriyan yadav niyamya bharatarshabha papmanam prajaghihyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. He's saying, therefore, Arjuna, your senses should be controlled. They are pulled in various directions. But you should restrain them because they are the easiest to restrain amongst the senses, mind and intelligence. First, if you restrain the senses, and then gradually input to the senses will become proper, then mind will become purified, and at the same time you can study Bhagavad Gita and strengthen the intelligence. All the three places are the places of lust, he says. So here I am giving you the lessons learned in this section now. Lord Krishna says, subdue the mind by superior intelligence, viveka buddhi, by studying Bhagavad Gita, I told you. Second thing, control the senses first. A couple of examples are given in Bhagavad Gita. Tortoise and the snake. Look at this tortoise. Now it is walking, again it's putting the head and legs inside. Again it's going to open now. See? That means, for good activities you should bring the senses out. And for impure activities you should withdraw the senses. That's what the example Lord Krishna gave. Kurmangani va sarvashaka. For example, you go to temple, you can keep your eyes wide open to see the darshan of the deities. You can take prasadam, you can dance in the kirtan, you can hear the lectures. Senses can be allowed to take in. But then when you're walking on the road, some dirty poster you see, you take your face away. You don't see dirty things, you don't hear dirty things, you don't speak dirty things. You have seen those three monkeys, Buramat bolo, buramat deko, buramat suno. You have seen that. So in this way, that's a tortoise example. The another one example, you see the snake, you see how it is dancing to the snake charmer. It's dancing, you saw that? In the same manner, our senses are compared to snakes, which very loosely want to act in wrong directions. So what to do with our senses? Our senses also have a tooth, which is compared to bhogavriti, we call it, enjoying mentality. All the senses want to rush outside and enjoy different wrong things, not good for us. So then what do we do? The snake charmer's baj, the playing is similar to the mantra. So we chant a particular mantra in our organization. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by chanting like this, gradually the mind becomes purified. Yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha, it is said. By hearing the mantra repeatedly, the senses which are like snakes, they become free from the tooth, poisonous tooth. And then the snakes will not be harmful anymore. That means our senses will lose their dirty propensities. Impure senses will become pure. Impure mind will become pure by chanting the mantra. Man means the mind, tra means which gives freedom. Mantra means which gives freedom to the mind. And then also we told you, books, movies, friends, very carefully choose, which will give you good habits. And also put aside your likes and dislikes of the mind. Don't listen to mind. Listen to the good intelligence, spiritual intelligence. We should listen to the words of Krishna. Follow the Gigo principle, good in, good out. Avoid garbage in, garbage out. So, now how can I put a full stop to my sufferings? These kind of questions you can ask. Where do I go after this life? So the last part I am going to show you. Actually, it is almost time. I will quickly show you. This is Buddha. He actually was searching for the truth when he was a prince. With the permission of his father, one day he went with the minister. He saw one man on the way, old man, you see, a hunchback man walking. He understood old age brings inability and invalidity. One can't do everything that he wants to do, like when he was a young boy. He understood. He asked the minister, what is this? Why this man has become like this? And minister said, he got very old. That's the first time Siddhartha Gautama Buddha saw the old age. Then he saw a sick man lying in the bed. When a man becomes ill, is coughing, is suffering from cancer or some diseases, both he suffers and all the family members also suffer. And Siddhartha asked, why should he suffer? And minister said, everybody suffers some disease or other in this world. Siddhartha first time understood that there is something called as suffering. In the form of illness. Then he saw a dead body being carried and he asked, what is that? He said that the person has died now. He said. So Siddhartha thought that, oh, I never knew that I will die or my family members will die. If only I knew that, I would have taken care of them and protected them, and I would not have taken them for granted. So why did my father cheat me? He didn't tell me these truths. Immediately take me back to palace. How can any human being in this world, live a life without knowing why a person gets old, why a person gets diseases, why a person should die against his will. Nobody would want to. So then he went to then the fourthly, he met a saintly person, and he saw that the saintly person is living in the same world, surrounded by all the sufferings all around, but he was completely living at peace with the world and peace with God. He had no problems. He saw that this saintly person had no need of material things to be happy. He was very peaceful. So he became curious. He asked many questions. He went back to palace, and then he became the enlightened one, because he understood these principles explained in the Gita. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. It is said. That means one should perceive that there is birth, there is death, there is old age and disease. And the Atma every time is trapped in this material body, and we are taking birth again and again, and we are suffering. And we should, therefore, like Nachiketas and like Buddha, all of you human beings, and we all can ask these questions with a higher intelligence. What is the cause of our sufferings? Because suffering is there, just like in a school, if I do some mistake, I am given punishment, isn't it? In the same manner, why am I suffering? What is wrong with us? And what is the purpose of life? How can I align with nature and God? How I can be everlastingly happy? These questions we can ask. So in human life, we can ask such questions and attain perfection. But if we don't make such inquiry, then many human beings actually engage in degraded activities, and they are demoted to lower forms. Unfortunately, many people, even after getting human body, they have misused the human body. So here I am giving you some very simple solutions here. I am concluding my talk now. Associate with devotees. You are most welcome. I am here at ISKCON NVCC New Vedic Cultural Center, which is in Katraj Kondwa, and there is another temple at MG Road End in Pune. And in these places, very wonderful programs happen, and we also have many programs happening in various colleges. Connect with the group of Krishna devotees and study Bhagavad Gita books. B for Bhagavad Gita, C for chanting the mantra, which I told you before. And take the food that is offered to God, cooked with love and offered with love. So Krishna says, if you offer me Patram Pushpam Phalam, I accept it, and then the food becomes completely free from karma and filled with kripa, mercy. And then do some seva for the Lord. Here they are all singing for the Lord. So in this way, ABCD formula is very easy to apply. These are all positive activities. And this is the mantra I told you. Very easy to chant. Chant 108 times every day. And just chant for a week and see how you feel. If you are comfortable, you can continue chanting. So now I am concluding with this. Thank you. Because they also wanted last 5 minutes for announcements and all. Yeah. Yes. Please go ahead.
Thank you so very much on behalf of every participant here on Zoom, everyone watching here on YouTube Live. That was really such an inspiring, insightful. Thank you so much for the session. As every time we've heard from you, it is really so deep, practical, nice stories, examples. You bring everything to life. Radhesham Das ji has researched not only, he brings these concepts from the Gita, brings these concepts from our ancient tradition, as well as he's gone through so many modern self-help books, motivational books, and brings all that together to make it so wonderful, applicable, appealing to all of us. Thank you so much. He's had over 25 years of experience in youth outreach, designing so many courses, so many things. And along those lines, I could say that his foundational flagship course is the Mantra of Life. Please do not miss this course. Over the 3 days, we've shown you the promotions. I'm once again going to show you the video. We've had over 4,000 registrations. It's a beautiful, easy 4-session course, 1 hour on every weekend. We're starting this Saturday, and we've got 2 time options for you. So please do not miss and register. Let's see the video of this course.
Show the video.
once again, everybody, the Mantra of Life course. Please register. The link to register for you on Zoom is in the chat box. We've just put the link here. And on YouTube Live, it's in your description. This course will benefit us in every aspect of our life. Please register. I have one more very important announcement. We have here the Gita Ambassadors Challenge was taken up by many of you who are here on Zoom, and we'd really like to thank you. Heartfelt thanks. We have the names of some of these ambassadors here who were the torch bearers, who are going out, sharing this wisdom, inviting everyone, calling everyone over. Thank you so much, all of you here. There are so many names here. I'm not going to read the names, but heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you to support this great INSPIRO mega event. And for all of you, the Bhagavad Gita will reach you by post very, very soon. Thank you once again. And we will now conclude our grand 3-day mega INSPIRO festival. But again, not concluding, the journey just begins. This was just us getting to know each other, seeing each other, and now we are going to have a wonderful journey, starting with the Mantra of Life course and so many, many more things to come. Thank you all once again. And we still haven't ended here. Radhesham Das ji has kindly agreed, because there were so many questions coming in through the chat, coming in through all the channels. We are still continuing. For those of who you wish to stay with us, we are continuing the question and answer session. For those of you who have to leave, thank you for being with us. Please register for the course. See you soon. Thank you all very much.